And we're back with something new again this year. Doug, we're going to have some viewer mail with all divorce questions.
I love it. I get some good calls just on the phone with folks. In fact, the other day I was trying to get out the office. I'd let staff go home early because of bad weather, and I was answering the phone myself. And the folks that answer my phones, and probably most lawyers' offices, deserve medals for the patience they have with callers with some of the questions.
Okay, I've got a lot of questions at the end. I'm going to tell people how they can, in several new ways, communicate with the program and get their questions answered on the show.
So you want quick answers?
Well, we do. We got a lot of questions from a lot of viewers. This is from Barbara of Claxton. If I separate due to physical abuse, can I still be charged with having deserted the marriage?
Well, that's a falsehood in terms of you being, quote, charged with desertion. Now, neither spouse should leave another spouse destitute. That would be desertion. But now, neither spouse has the obligation to support the other spouse, everything being equal, nor are you responsible for your debts unless a judge says you are.
So the quick answer is no.
So if you're in an abusive relationship, get out!
Okay. Our next question's from, and I kid you not, Sammy living on a boat in the water. And he asks, can I date while I'm still separated?
My English teacher would say, yes, you can, but no, you shouldn't. You should not date while being separated. You're still married. You're still married. And all the health professionals, I'll go Dr. Laura on you in a minute, all the health professionals say that upon divorce, no relationship for 6 months. Get your head clear. Get settled down. Decide what you want in your next relationship because the previous one didn't work. And what I see is people that date while they're divorcing, they're making the same mistake. They're going to marry the same kind of person, and they'll be back for divorce number 2, 3, or 4.
Might explain why Sammy's living on a boat in the water. Sheldon of Hinesville. I have a videotape of my wife and a neighbor having relations. I was told that I can't use it in court. Can I post it on the internet?
No, but you should send it to me so I can immediately review it.
Okay. And
no, the answer is depends upon how it was acquired and so forth, but you're likely very close, if not absolutely, violating some federal law if you secretly tape recorded that kind of incident. Depending upon the circumstances, but be darn careful.
Okay, and Bruce F. of the South Side, how long does it take to get divorced? And keep in mind we have South Carolina viewers as well.
That's why the South Carolina viewers come to Georgia, because there is a long separation period required by South Carolina. Georgia just requires you get separated or be separated, meaning you could do it yesterday, file today, and if everybody signs the paperwork and consents, you could get your divorce 31 days after filing.
And in South Carolina, it's a year, is it?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Don't hold me that. I'm not a South Carolina lawyer, but it's a long period.
Brandy of the West Side, do I need to have a reason to divorce my spouse?
Should have a reason. Should have a reason in your own mind. You don't want to bounce from one relationship to another just because, well, you got tired of them or you wore them out. You don't have to have grounds anymore, if that's what Brandy means. We have, like California, the no-fault divorce in the sense that all you have to do is show the marriage is irretrievably broken. California calls it irreconcilable differences. And it only takes one spouse to say the marriage is broken, because it takes two to make a marriage. And if one spouse says it's broken, the judge is going to say, under law, it's broken.
Okay, well, next question is Tom of Dutch Island. I bought the house we live in prior to the marriage. Does my spouse have any interest in the house if it's still in my name only?
Probably not. But those questions get complicated when it should be a simple thing. You know what the law does to simple questions, especially if a lawyer gets involved. If that spouse makes substantial contributions, improves on the house while you're married, adds on to it, or pays down the mortgage with maybe inheritance money or something that she had of independent funds, she may acquire an equitable interest. In theory, though, if it was acquired prior to marriage and she's got no claim to add-ons or anything like that, it's his house. Now, that doesn't mean she can't get alimony and be given the house as alimony. She's not making a claim against the house directly, just that it's part of his overall estate, and that's where alimony comes from, is the husband's entire estate. So technically, no claim directly against the house.
Okay, next is signed, came to us by email, and it's signed all mine. I inherited some money. Does my spouse get any of it?
Not if it comes by inheritance or gift. In theory, that's non-marital property, not subject to division.
Okay, our next one's Carl of Midway. Does my spouse have an interest in my retirement funds?
Probably. Again, that's a broad question, but generally retirement funds, if amassed or acquired during the marriage, is going to be part of that piggy bank that's going to be broke open, and the coins are going to be divided somehow based upon principles of equity, equitable division. So if it's from the blood, sweat, and tears during the marriage, the fruits of their labor while married, it's subject to division of what the judge or jury says is right and fair.
Okay, our next one's from Georgette of Guyton. My husband's offered me a cash settlement in our divorce. Do I have to pay taxes on the settlement? And is he going to claim it on his income tax? And if this is taxable, is there a way around it?
All right, well, that depends. I have to assume quite a few facts. You know what the word assume does to us. The first three letters followed by the middle. Oh, never mind. If the husband has earned this money during the year and has not been reported for income tax purposes yet by the end of the year, he earned it. So he's going to have to report it. If he gives it away, he's still subject to tax on his earnings. So just give it to her doesn't shield it. So in general, the answer to her question is no, she's not liable for the taxes if that's the situation she's talking about.
Okay, the next one's Betty of Vidalia. What are legal trends in custody cases?
Partly cloudy. Well, we're past the point where we favor joint custody, I think, in terms of physical shared custody, because we see that kids who have two homes really believe they have no home. So that joint shared custody thing is less favored now, but I see a lot of dads wanting equal time, and I think that's because the child support burden is perceived to be so burdensome, they'd rather have the kid than pay out money. So there is that trend of fathers wanting more parenting time, some of them just to avoid shucking out the bucks. Others do want more time with their kids. Okay. So there is a greater fight with dads.
All right. Well, thank you, Doug. I'd like to talk to our viewers a moment about how you can send your question in. We have a website at talkinglawtv.com. There's something on our screen that you can take a look at of what our website looks like. If you go to it, you'll see there's a schedule button where you can also watch our program 24/7 now. And then we have a page about each lawyer. You can find out more about them. And then also we have something new this year, Talking Law TV, mobile web, and text alerts. And you can actually reach us through your text mobile phone by texting TLTV 82672. Hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We'll be back next week at the same time, right here on WSAV. Make it a great week, everybody. Good night.
You are amazing.
Thank you.